Hey all, Chris from Lafayette, Indiana rock band June IND here, and I'm joined by Marie Morse, Executive Director at HomesteadCS. HomesteadCS is our April philanthrocky Music for a Cause beneficiary, and we'll be donating this month's sales and streams to them to increase affordable, sustainable housing opportunities in our community. Hey Marie, how's it going?
Hey, Chris, it's going great. We're so excited that you guys have chosen us as your charity of the month and really appreciate it.
No problem. We know you have a lot of impact in the community and big fans of your program, so we want to introduce our folks to your folks, and hopefully if some of those folks need help, we can get everybody connected to have a great outcome.
That would be great, because that is the trick, is getting people connected to us. It's still most often word of mouth where people find out about us, and so any way to get that word out is really great. So we certainly appreciate it.
No problem. So let's talk about Homestead. What's the mission?
Okay, our mission is to offer resources and education to ensure that families understand their housing choices, and to be a catalyst for redevelopment in our neighborhoods. And what that really means is that we want to try to ensure that no one becomes homeless. We try to prevent that. We try to offer some affordable housing. We have a senior housing development on 9th Street, the historic Jeff Center. We help people try to avoid both foreclosure and eviction. And we do that by partnering with the state and the federal government and some local government on some funds they have. Unfortunately, all that money has some restrictions to it. So, sometimes we have to think outside the box, and we help families understand budgeting and credit and what that means for their housing, and, making sure that they take care of the resources that they do have in the best way possible. Those services are all free with our contracts with the state and local government and the city. We also get a lot of grants, and we do fundraising like this. This certainly helps keep those programs free, and that's why we so appreciate it, because our families do need to use their resources on their housing, and not paying us for our expertise. So we like to offer that as free as we can.
Great. So the programs are for homeowners, for people interested in homeownership, and tenants as well, right?
Correct. The tenant portion is fairly new. Maybe a year and a half ago. It's hard to remember exact time frames because COVID is just like forever. We were asked to start offering some rental assistance through the state. And we've done that, and we also are working to try to get a grant to do rental counseling, so that we've done rental education for a long time, where we do presentations about what it means to rent, and how in Indiana you have to read your lease because there aren't a lot of tenant protections in Indiana, but we're trying to maybe offer that more one-on-one. But we do offer our budget and our credit counseling to a lot of tenants, and a lot of homeowners, and a lot of people wanting to be homeowners. And we want it to kind of maybe even be a progression. For instance, you may not think you can buy a home, but right now, interest rates are still low. It might be the time to buy, but you have to consider lots of things around that as a tenant. If you don't like your neighbor, you could probably move in a year. If you're a homeowner, you probably cannot. So, there's lots of pros and cons each way, and we try to help families understand that.
A very wise lady said to me at one point, the line, "You don't know what you don't know." And that's what you and Homestead do. Buying a house, being a homeowner is a big thing, and there are many holes that you can fall into during that process. And I think it's important, the work that you do on educating people about what they should look out for in regard to homeownership before they get all the way into it. Because, it's it's a huge thing. It's people want to own their own home, and I think they get excited and they are maybe coaxed into it a little quicker than they should be. The programs you offer help prepare folks for that, big life journey.
Right. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that our families truly understand what they're getting into. It is probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. So, you don't want to go into it uninformed. And exactly, there are things that you don't even think about, that you need to, but to make sure that you're getting in the right house for yourself, that you can afford to keep it, getting into the right mortgage, and who that mortgage is with and how flexible will they be if you do run into trouble. There's lots of things to think about, when you're making that huge investment. For most of our families, the home is the biggest asset they will ever have, almost for everyone. We don't deal with many families that have huge amounts of stocks and bonds and investments in companies. They're just, like you and me, trying to live their life as best they can, and working hard and trying to make the best decisions. And, housing is so complicated. And, when I bought my first house years and years and years ago, it was not that expensive, really. So if I sort of messed up, I could probably recover from that in my lifetime. But, housing right now is very expensive. And, if you make a $200,000 mistake, that's a big chunk of money. And so it's different. And rates are low. So that's really attractive to people. But that's not the only thing to think about. And so, that's what we try to help each individual think through it for themselves. And they make what decision, they want to make. And but we try to have that be an informed decision. Right.
But then there are also programs for homeowners that you have in case they do have trouble, right?
We do. And, since like 2008, the first housing crisis, and now, again, there's just a lot of families in trouble through no fault of their own. They may have made a really great decision, but, now things, they lost their job or they lost their hours or they had to stay home because they lost their child care because of COVID. And, a million things happen. And so we do offer services to help them understand their options. It's really scary when you find out you're behind in your housing, whether that's your rental housing or your home ownership. And sometimes people just ignore it because they think it's just going to go away. But it's not, unfortunately. And so the sooner we know about it to help them understand what their options are, the more options they have. I have 2 housing counselors that are so kind and so great, and they know what they're doing, and they'll helping you by taking some of that stress away from you. And again, that service is free because we have contracts with the state. So there's really no reason not to ask us if, to help. I will say, with federal and state money, there's lots of paperwork that has to be gotten, and the banks, if it's a mortgage, the bank's going to ask for a lot of stuff. But fortunately, we know how to get it to them. We know what they want. We know what your options are. And so it's just someone to help carry the load with you. And that's what my counselors do.
Yeah, that's great. So another one of your programs helps out financially, right? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. We are certified by the U.S. Treasury to be what they call a certified, a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. So one of the things that we do is help low to moderate income families access funds. And in this case, after the first housing crisis, our families came to us and said, thank you for saving my house, but now my car is broke, or I need a new refrigerator. And, my credit really took a hit. So I don't really have anything left on any credit cards or anything that I can go get money. And banks find it difficult because of the cost to really lend a small amount of money. And even if they did, my credit's in the hole. So, I can't go get it anyway. So listening to that, we started looking into what families were doing, and we found out that in Indiana, the payday lending statute, which is where you borrow money and you pay it back in your very next paycheck, they can charge 391% annual percentage rate, which completely shocked me. And so since that time, about 5 years ago, we have developed a small loan program where we partner with employers. It doesn't cost an employer anything, but they offer it as a benefit. And then the employee can pay it back through payroll deduction or through their bank account, but they get 12 months to pay it back, not the next paycheck. And so the payments are affordable. We know that one of the things our families told us, as I said, was that their credit took a hit. So we report these payments to the credit bureau to help them build their credit back up. And it's been extremely successful. We do charge an interest rate on that of 18%, but we did a study and we have so far loaned $2 million in that loan fund. And we have saved our families over $3 million in fees and interest from a payday lending institute. So it's something that we feel really great about. People really, it's helping them. We've also taken a stand on the state legislature on a federal level to try to get those the payday lending rates lowered in our state. But there's a loan sharking rate in Indiana that's 72%. So I don't understand, why can they charge, why are they have this special cutout? It's not illegal. It's legal to do this 391, but why? And so, I talk a lot at the legislators about it at the state level, and the federal level is looking into it also. But, it's something that I feel strongly about, that we're taking advantage of people at their most vulnerable time. And we want to make sure that they have a fair lending opportunity. And so that's a program that we partnered with another organization in Fort Wayne, and actually three organizations in Texas, to develop this and bring it to Indiana. So it's been very, very, very well received in our community.
That's great. Do the participating companies, do they do direct outreach with those employees, or is there a way that folks can contact you and ask if their employer is participating and maybe help recruit?
They can absolutely contact us, and we can tell them if their employer is participating. They can ask their HR department if their employer is, because that's who it would go through. Then if their employer is, they'll know what to do. There's a website that you go to. It's kind of all done online. But if they're not, then maybe it's something their employer wants to think about, and we're happy to talk to them about that. We are talking right now, I won't name the company, but I had several employees of that company come and say, we really want this. So when we told the HR company, they said, well, let's talk about it and see where it goes. So, employees have a lot of say into that, because right now it's difficult to get great employees. So employers are looking for ways to show that they're appreciated and that they want to stay. And this is one way for an employer to do it. And it's not like medical insurance where the employer has to pay money. They just have to offer payroll deduction, and the money is ours, the risk is ours. And, it's a great way to help their employees.
Awesome. Cool. And that information is on the website. We'll have that all in the comments.
Yeah. So, you can find a lot on our website, but you can always just call us too. And, someone will know the answer. Not always me, but someone will know.
Homestead has some events, right? Do you have anything big coming up?
Our biggest event is always our Evil on Erie haunted attraction, which is in October. And you may not know that they're already working on that. We have this core group of volunteers that work pretty much, 11 months out of the year volunteering to make sure it's really great and exciting for our guests that come. And they have some really wonderful ideas. It's going to be different than last year. So if you came last year, come again. And I don't know if everybody knows, but this is a big thing. Haunted houses are a big thing on a national level. And there's actually a huge convention in St. Louis that my core group goes to every year to get new and exciting ideas. So, people should come check that out. it is for older children, 12 and above. We recommend, because it's scary. Parents get to make that decision, but that's what we recommend, 12 and older. And all the proceeds go to help keep families in their homes. So, you're having a great time, plus you're helping the community and you're helping some family that's down on their luck. So, so that definitely is something that we would like people to think about. So.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll include some of that information in the comments on the video. So,
okay.
So find that if they haven't been before. All right, you've been at it for a little while with Homestead. What has been your biggest win so far with the organization?
Well, my biggest win, gosh, that's a really great question. My biggest thing that makes me feel the very best is when I'm out in public and somebody comes up to me and tells me, you helped save my home. And, that just, there's nothing that feels better than that. And I may not have even known them, or I may have known them. I had someone that I helped them buy their first home 25 years ago. And they're still in that same house. And they came up to me the other day and said, do you remember me? And I did. That's just the best feeling, to know that we are really stabilizing families and children, and that's just those things just are the best feeling in the world. And, I really love doing this. I tell everybody that, when I'm giving information about foreclosures and mortgages and notes, and they may think, oh, she knows a lot. Well, I do know a lot about mortgages and foreclosures and notes. But then when I go and look at, say, an electrical panel, my electrician says, see all these buttons? Don't touch anything, because he's the expert there. We all have something that we have to give. And that's the neat thing, is that it takes all of us together to make this community work. And, we just want to be a part of that. And that just makes my day.
Awesome. Yeah, there's I don't know what the current count is on the millions of dollars in homes that Homestead has saved, but it is a very big number. So
it is a very big number. It is over, just the ones we've saved from foreclosure is over $160 million worth of homes. And you're talking about an average of 2 kids in each of those homes. That's a lot of children that have security, and that makes us just feel really wonderful. So
June IND is donating April sales and streams to HomesteadCS for Fair Housing Month. Thanks for joining me, Marie. We're going to put Homestead's donate link and website, phone number, and whatever else you send me in the comments, so folks can reach out to you and get assistance if they need it.
I want to thank you so much, Chris and Emily and June IND. If you get their music, it's great music, and it's local, and how fun is that? And we really appreciate that you're looking out for your community too, and that means a lot. And this community just needs everyone to look out for each other, and I appreciate that you're doing this.
No problem. We'll catch up soon.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.
Well, haven't you heard there ain't a lot of love, and there ain't enough supply, and there ain't a lot of love to keep the price